866-997-4748. Call John now on Tell Me Everything. Sirius XM Progress 127.
Thank you, good people of Texas. Which brings us to Keith Price. Now, I've been telling you that this weekend is going to be the 10-year anniversary special for the Sexy Liberal Tour. We began in April of 2011. Over the years, we've been joined by a lot of great luminaries on stage, from Lily Tomlin to Rob Reiner to Nancy Pelosi to Martin Sheen. And a lot of those folks are appearing this weekend. Nancy Pelosi and Martin Sheen and Judy Gold are all making cameos. But I should let you know there's going to be a very special cameo in one of my sketches where I play Ted Cruz. Our next guest, Keith Price, is going to be in one of my sketches, and we shot it last week. He's hilarious. You guys know Keith as the first openly gay black radio host at Sirius XM, and be sure to catch his wonderful Broadway podcast, Keith Price's Curtain Call. Comedy Daddy, welcome back.
Wow, that was awesome. Hey.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing? I'm a whole bunch of places. I'm all over the place emotionally.
Tell
today.
me, please. So I know how that feels, Keith. It's been a very surreal 24 hours in my home, and so I can certainly identify. But what's going on?
Well, between dealing with having a loved one in the hospital and all that to do, which has been interesting. You and I need to talk about that off air. And then the sadness of Midwin being taken away from us so soon. It's sort of like if there's ever been one person in the immediate sphere of folks that I'm kind of close enough to that I've always wanted to meet, it would have been her. She instantly became like that friend in my head that Wendy Williams always talks about. It's like, and I was just so close. She finally started following me on Twitter, man. It's like I was going to dazzle her with some good jokes and then eventually just throw out the brunch thing,
So wait a second. So you follow Midwin Charles. You followed her for the last year or so.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday night. She's on in the 10 o'clock hour. You're on in the 11 o'clock hour. Mm-hmm. Like she's literally your middle for your headline, and you never got to meet her.
We never got to meet her.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Never got to meet her. But it's like if COVID had not been around all of last year, I'm sure it would have changed. But that's the way it goes. And I was just telling somebody, it's sort of like I'm just glad that even in the shorter time that I've been able to watch and observe, it's just so nice to see that kind of power and that kind of light in the world. It's just a drag to see it taken out. But I just think about all the little black girls that are going to be living their Midwin Charles dream.
Yeah, I mean, that's what... I'll tell you, I did a couple of postings tonight. I got all fired up about Georgia and all the lies we're hearing from the right wing about the Georgia voter law. So I did finally do some posting, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I tried going online a few times, and my inbox is so full of wonderful people, listeners and friends, journalists, comedians, people who met Midwin at our show. Midwin Keith was our most frequent guest since we launched this show 6 years ago on the other channel. Mm-hmm. Midwin Charles is the guest who has appeared on this show more than anybody else. And she's also the only person I think I've ever appeared with on MSNBC, CNN, and the Wendy Williams show. I hit the trifecta with her in terms of we were friends in green rooms before she became our most seasoned regular on the show. And I got to tell you, I couldn't do it. I couldn't go online because I had so many DMs on Twitter, and people wrote very nice comments. Martin Luther King's daughter wrote a beautiful, beautiful tweet, and I retweeted a few of the nice things people said, but I couldn't tell jokes. I didn't want to do anything. I just I spent the day trying to edit and being with my family. I just we've all lost people, but this is something that has just been so brutal to me, and I literally couldn't think of anything to say all day, and I just tried to avoid it all.
Wow. I mean, I feel like I had to push through because, the thing is that when you have all of those different things sitting on top of you trying to push through the day, it is a challenge, especially to be funny, or if you feel the pressure to be funny or to be creative. And sometimes it just ain't there. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's okay. It can't be a permanent thing, but, every now and then I think maybe it is imperative that you shut down and in this situation, like you're saying, spending time with your family and doing stuff like that, it was the quality time that you may not have given yourself the opportunity to do because you've done, you're too busy writing jokes and you're too busy thinking about, the next one-person show, and your mind is that, and you got to be for the radio show. So maybe perhaps in a crazy way, this was the kind of medicine that you needed to get through the day.
It's just, it ain't about me. There's just, people are all posting their tributes to Midwin, and I'm going to do something like that, but I got to take a couple days before I start tweeting about it, because I don't think there's anyone in the world I have more selfies with, except for my kid. I will say this: there's no one in my life that has taken more selfies with me than Midwin. My wife, who I've known for over 25 years, has not taken as many selfies with me as Midwin did. And so it's nice to be busy when you lose a friend like this. And it was 3 weeks ago, the last time she was on. 2 weeks ago, she called in sick just before the show, and then it was last week that we didn't hear from her at all. It was the only time she's ever not been here, and I kept, because it's all about me, I kept thinking she's mad at me. I said something because I'm Catholic and I default to my fault, and I texted her to make sure we were okay, and she texted me back 6 days ago. So yeah, it's a shock and it's a loss, and you're right that there's so many women and men who will see that this Haitian American girl born in Brooklyn could achieve so much and become a nationally recognized legal expert. Because when we were growing up, it was just a couple of white guys were the only ones who could talk about law on TV. And what a great broadcaster and what a great human she is.
Like I see her. She could have been the next Supreme Court justice. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was definitely part of the path, I'm sure, at some point. But you know what? It's just, I'm glad that the impact that she has had has been so positive and been so great, because nobody wants to be remembered for being, you don't want to go out like a Trump or something. You know what I'm saying? You don't want the stench of a Matt Gaetz history, on your way out. I'm just saying.
Oh, but it's amazing to watch.